hopefully this will work all right. I'm in a different room than I normally am, and so I don't know if the camera angle will be okay. What I'm going to talk about this first lesson is the 1.2 and also 1.3. So in 1.2, what we're looking at are place value and names for numbers. I don't think, besides this section, you're going to have to do everything in what I think they call standard, and that's if you have 1,350,240. In this section, you do have to put the commas or it will mark you wrong. In future assignments, when you're actually doing work, it doesn't matter if you do the commas or not. And the way you would read this is 1,350,240. If you have something like this, you would read it 1,200,000. If you have this 1,002,000, it'd be 1,002,000. As far as place value, let's say that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 point. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this is the ones, the tens, the hundreds, the thousands, the 10,000s, the 100,000s, the 1 million, the 10 million, the 100 million. This is 10th, 100th, 1,000th, and 10,000ths. So that's pretty much what's in section 1.2. For 1.3, we're going, also I think it's going to ask you for these 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and on. If it's 0, then it's going to be whole numbers. If it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and on, these are natural numbers. So the natural numbers are what we used to count with. Whole numbers include 0. If it also has negative numbers, so -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on, then it will be integers. I think there's some questions there that may ask one or more of those, so you'll need to know the difference between them. But in section 1.3, 1.3 is we're going to be adding and subtracting whole numbers and looking at the perimeters. So the addition property of 0 just means that if you add 0 to a number, it's not going to change the value. So if you have 7 plus 0, that's just going to equal 7. Or if you have 0 plus 7, it's going to equal 7. The commutative property means that it doesn't matter what order you add numbers. So if you have 2 plus 3, that equals 5. And if you have 3 plus 2, that also equals 5. It makes no difference what order you put them in. The associative property is where you have more than two numbers. So let's say we have 3 plus 5 plus 2. So you would add these two first. So it would be 3 plus 7 equals 10. But you can also say 3 plus 5 plus 2, so it's 8 plus 2, and that also equals 10. What you're going to use this most is if you have a bunch of numbers. Say you have 33, 64, 77, and 16. Most people will add these so that you get the 3 and the 7 first to make 10, and the 4 and the 6 to make 10. So you can just add 20 and put a 2 there. It doesn't matter what order you do them in. You can do them just straight, or you can do them in the order to make it easier for you to do. And then we have the subtraction property of 0. So 12 minus 12 equals 0. Or if we say 13 minus 0, it equals 13. One thing that's going to be in this section, and I think also on the quiz, that mathematically in any of your classes doesn't really matter that much, but when we're subtracting numbers, we use a minuend minus a subtrahend and that equals the difference. So 8 minus 3 equals 5. 8 is the minuend, 3 is the subtrahend, 5 is the difference. When we're adding, the numbers are add-ins, and we get a sum. So 8 plus 3 is 11. These are both add-ins, and this is the sum. Whenever you subtract numbers, you can check your answer by adding. I think some of them say to do that on the homework, but you don't actually have to do it. That's just the way you would. For perimeter, to find the perimeter of anything, you're just going to add all the sides. So let's say we have a perfect square and it only gives you that this is 3. You're just going to put 3's here, and it's 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. That equals 12. If you have something like this, they're going to put like a 3, an 8, maybe a 4, and a 2. They're not going to give you all the sides, but you know that this full one is 8, this one is 3, so this here would be 5. And for this side, this is a 2, this is a 4. Add those up together and get a 6. And then you would add everything together and get the total for the perimeter. And actually, I'm going to do one more section. I'm also going to do 1.4. Because looking at it, it's pretty short. 1.4, the main thing I'm going to talk about is rounding and estimating. So when we're rounding, look only at the next number. And then if that number is less than 5, you round down. Rounding down just means you drop all the other numbers. Drop numbers to the right, including that number. If 5 or greater, you round up. So, and you round up by 1. So for some examples, if we have the number 532 and we need to round this to the nearest 10, we would look at the 10 spot, go to the next number, we see that it's less than 5, so we drop everything and put a 0, so it would be 530. If we need to round to the nearest 100, we look at the 5, that's the number that we're rounding. Then we look at this and see that it's a 3, so it becomes 500. If though we have something like 547, if we want to round to the nearest 10, we go to the 10 spot, we look at the next number, we see that that's a 7, so we're going to round it up. So it's going to be 5. We're going to round the next one up, the 4 to a 5, and we keep that 0. We have to keep that 0 there. Otherwise, I know some people might change this to be 55. We have to keep it at 550. But if we want to round to the nearest 100, we just look at this 4. It's less than a 5, so we round this also to 500. Hopefully that will help you with these next sections. I will be making more videos and post them so that you can get some extra help. As always, you can send emails or call and I'll be able to help you. Use the discussions, and if other people answer your questions, that person can get extra credit. So even if you don't have questions, check the discussions, answer someone else's, and get some extra credit for the tests. I'll be sending the test dates soon, and good luck.